Hey guys, here we are for a short track guide of the NASCAR Next Gen car at the Daytona Road Course. For this track guide, I'm going to show you the hot lap first, and then I'm going to break down the lap in slow motion and show my approach to each corner. Now before I get to the lap, I just want to mention that I'm using the baseline NASCAR Daytona Road Course setup with the brake bias at 45.9%. Also for this lap, I'm using a track temp of 107 degrees, air temp of 78 degrees, and track usage of 31%. Now let's get on to the lap. Now let's look at that lap in slow motion. So as we're starting the lap, just getting a good exit out of the final chicane, and as we approach turn one, bring our car up to the right-hand side of the track, and we're gonna be braking just about at the end of this white line before like this light on the fence. So we can kind of see as we're passing that, getting on the brakes, but that's a nice reference. So looking at that white line before that light at the fence, braking around 90 to 95% brake pressure, downshifting to second just as we about like cross this double yellow line, trying to get the downshift quite early just for that engine braking. Bring the car all the way to the right hand side over to this white line. Don't need to go super wide though. You don't need to go way out beyond it, but just up to that white line, trailing off the brakes. And as we pass the tire barrier, starting to get back on the throttle slowly. As we start to unwind the wheel, getting back on the power even more, up to full gas through here. And as we're going through these little S's, you can kind of either stay in second gear or shift up to third. I shift up to third, but I feel you can stay in second. You get into the braking zone pretty quickly either way. So again, downshifting to first, trailing off, trying to get a wide approach. That way we can get a late apex to this hairpin. Again, partial throttle as we get out here. Really easy to get a lot of oversteer if you get on the throttle too early. So again, I had a little bit of counter steer there. Waiting to be cautious on the throttle. Once you're up to second, you can stay up to full throttle. And now we approach the kink. So approaching the kink, bring the car over to the right-hand side. You can see we're taking partial throttle through this corner, letting off, trying to make sure we don't run wide here. Again, using up all the track on the right-hand side. And then seems like a pretty simple straight line braking, but you actually want to try to bring the car as wide as possible. So we're almost following like the seam here, trying to bring the car way out wide. And then as we downshift to first, trailing off into this corner, and you'd think that this corner is super long, so you really have to wait. But I feel if you can get on the throttle pretty early, helps rotate the rear of the car. Just getting that like intentional oversteer just to get the car around the corner. And up to second gear, you're gonna be starting to brake just as we approach the beginning of this like white asphalt or like that yellow curb, braking early. It's really about the exit here, so you don't really have to push too much on the entry. Downshifting to first, taking a super early turn in, try not to use up all the runoff through there. You definitely, once you start wearing the tires, you'll get a wider approach, but on your hot lap, trying to cut this off as much as you can. A lot of times you see guys running up the bank and then coming down. You're not really going to gain time from that, so I just try to take the shortest distance possible. So now as we go across the banking turns 1 and 2, going onto the backstretch through here, looking for a braking zone down the backstretch approaching the bus stop. Heading down the backstretch, look for a braking zone. We're going to be braking just about the 2 1/4 mark. So just before the 2 sign, about 100% brake pressure, holding it all the way until we get to the curbing, starting to trail off, using up all the curbing on the inside, downshifting to second, and again, starting to let off the brake, small tap of the throttle just for some extra rotation to get around here, avoiding the sausage curves on the exit of the bus stop, getting back to full throttle, and then hugging the inside through 3 and 4 here. So just following the yellow line, and as we approach 4, moving up the track slightly just to get ourselves a nice straight line braking as we approach the final chicane. We're going to be braking just about like at this flag right after the Daytona sign on the wall. So you can see as we pass those flowers, full braking down to 3rd, and then starting to let off as we have to turn in past this like little kink. So getting on that full braking done as early as you can, downshifting to 2nd, pretty early for some engine braking. Once again, trailing off the brakes, just making sure to get as close as these sausage curves as you can without hitting them. Getting back on the throttle, trying to use any counter steer needed. And I'm just shortcutting the course, just make it to the very end. You're able to cut below the double yellow line. It's not a penalty. Come into the line, shortest distance possible, and that's a lap around the Daytona road course, or the NASCAR Daytona road course. Hopefully that track guide was helpful. That was 153.062. And yeah, that's just about it. Hopefully this guide was helpful, and wish you guys luck. Thanks for watching.